Drum to the drum out of Babylon, hobby horses foam, the dumb sky rhinoceros glum. Watch the courses of the breakers, rocking horses, and with glaucous Lady Venus on the settee of the horsehair sea, where Lord Tennyson in laurels wrote a Gloria free, in a borealic iceberg came Victoria. She knew Prince Albert's tall memorial, took the colours of the Florial and the borealic iceberg floating on the sea. You will listen, Madam Venus, for whose sake from far came the fattened sea-bred emperor from Zanzibar, while her golden bookies lay for Asia, Africa, Cathay, laid up before the shady lady by that fibroid Shah. Captain Thracker, stout as any water butt, came, stood with Sir Bacchus both a-drinking the black tarred grape's blood, plucked among the tartan leaf each by the furry wind whose grief age could not wither like a squirrel with a gold star nut.
Queen Victoria sitting shocked upon the rocking horse of a wafer to the laureate, his minx of course, as sharp as any lynx, and blacker deeper than the drinks, and quite as hot as any Hottentot without remorse. For the minx, said she, and the drinks you would see, hot as any Hottentot and novel that shall be. In the early springtime after their tea, through the young fields of the springing bohea, Jemima, Jocasta, Dinah, and Deb walked with their father, Sir Joshua Jebb, and Admiral Red, whose only notion, a butterfly poised on a pig-tailed ocean, is of the peruqued sea whose swell breaks on the flowerless rocks of hell. Under the thin trees, Deb and Dinah, Jemima, Jocasta walked, and finer their black hair seemed, flat sleeked to see, than the young leaves of the springing bohea. Their cheeks were like nutmeg flowers when swells the rain into foolish silver bells. They said, if the door you would only slam, or if, Papa, you would once say damn, instead of merely roaring avast, or boldly invoking the nautical past. We should now stand in the street of hell, watching siesta shutters that fell with a noise like amber softly sliding. Our moonlight glances through these gliding would see at her table preened and set Nerina sitting at her toilette, with eyelids closed as soft as the breeze that flows from gold flowers on the incense trees.
The Admiral said you could never call. I assure you it would not do at all. She gets down from table without saying please, forgets her prayers and to cross her T's. In short, her scandalous reputation has shot the whole of the hellish nation, and every turban chinoiserie with whom we should sip our black bohea would stretch out her simian fingers thin to scratch you, my dears, like a mandolin. For hell is just as properly proper as Greenwich, or as Bath or Joppa.
What are you staring at, Mariner man, wrinkled as sea sand and old as the sea?
Those trains will run over their tails if they can, snorting and sporting like porpoises flee. The belly, the whirling wheels of the train, as round as the world and as large again, running half the way over to Babylon down, through fields of clover to gay Troy town, a-puffing their smoke, as grey as the curl on my forehead, as wrinkled the sands of the sea. But what can that matter to you, my girl, and what can that matter to me?
Steel grass the white soldiers pass. The light is braying like an ass. See the tall Spanish jade, with hair black as nightshade, worn as a cockade. Flee her eyes gasconade, and her gowns parade, as stiff as a brigade. Tee-hee! The hard and braying light is zebraed black and white. It will take away the slight and free. Tinge of the mouth organ sound, oyster soul notes oozing round her flounces as they sweep the ground. The trumpet and the drum and the martial cornet come to make the people dumb. But we won't wait for Slyfoot night, moonlight watered, milk white bright, to make clear the declaration of our Paphian vocation beside the castanetted sea, where stalks il Capitanio, swaggered braggadocio, sword and mustachio. He is green as a cassada, and his hair is an armada. To the jade, come kiss me harder, he called across the battlements as she heard our voices thin and shrill as the steely grasses thrill, or the sound of the onica when the foca has the peak in the palace of the Queen Chinese. Through gilded trellises of the heat Dolores, Ines, Manuthia, Isabel, Luthia, mock time that flies. Lovely bird, will you stay and sing? Flirting your sheened wing, peck with your beak and cling to our balconies. They flirt their fans flaunting. Oh, silence enchanting as music, and slanting their eyes like gilded or emerald grapes. They take mantillas, capes hiding their simian shapes. Sighs each lady, our spadil is done. Dance the quadrille from hell's towers to Seville. Surprise their siesta, Dolores said. Through gilded trellises of the heat, spangles pelt down through the tangles of bellflowers. Each dangles her castanets. Shutters fall while the heat mutters with sounds like a mandolin or tinkled tambourine.
Ladies, time dies. When Don Pasquito arrived at the seaside, where the donkey's high tide braid, he saw the bandito Joe in a black cape, whose slack shape waved like the sea. Thetis, Rhoda, Treatus, Newton, Greetus, see, or like to see the lovely cheetah, sweetest foam, Erotus, notices that she will steal the king's luggage like Babel before the League of Nations grew. So Joe put the luggage and the label in the pocket of Flo the kangaroo. Through trees like rich hotels that bode of dreamless ease fled she, carrying the load and goading the road through the marine scene to the sea. Don Pasquito, the road is eloping with your luggage though heavy and large. You must follow and leave your moping. Cry to my guidance and marge. When Don Pasquito returned from the road's end, where vanilla-colored ladies ride, from Severe, his manteered bride and young friend were forgetting their mentor and guide. For the lady and her friend from Le Touquet, in the very shady trees upon the sand, were plucking a white satin bouquet of foam, while the sand's brassy band bled in the wind. Don Pasquito hid where the leaves drip with sweet, but a word stung him like a mosquito. For what they hear, they repeat.
Jumbo asleep, grey leaves thick furred as his ears keep conversations blurred. Thicker than hide is the trumpeting water, Don Pasquito's bride and his youngest daughter. Watch the leaves elephantine grey. What is it grieves in the torrid day? Is it the animal world that snores, harsh and inimical, in sleepy pause? And why should the spined flowers, red as a soldier, make Don Pasquito seem still moldier?
In a room of the palace, black Mrs. Beermoth gave way to wrath and the wildest malice. Cried Mrs. Beermoth,
Come, 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 court lady, doomed like a moth through palace rooms shady.
The candle flame seemed a yellow pompion, sharp as a scorpion. Nobody came, only a bugbear air unkind, that Budford papoose, the young spring wind, blew out the candle. Where is it gone?
To flat Coromandel rolling on.
Where the satyrs are chattering, nymphs with their flattering, glimpse of the forest enhance, all the beauty of marrow and cucumber narrow, and Sarahs will join in the dance. Where the satyrs can flatter the flat-leaf fruit and the gherkin green and the marrow.
Sit Queen Venus, Silenus will settle between us, the gourd and the cucumber narrow.
See, like palaces hid in the lake, they shake, those greenhouses shot by her arrow. Narrow, the gardener seizes the pieces like creases for gilding the potting shed narrow. There the radish roots and the strawberry fruits feel the nymphs high boots in the glade, travelling and sampling mazurkas, katukas, and Turkish Krakowiaks hid in the shade. Where in their haycocks the country nymphs gave ox their gowns that are looped over bright yellow petticoats, gaiters of leather and pheasant tail feathers, in straw hats bewildering many a leathern bat. There they hay make cows and wines and showers, the dew in the dogskin bright flowers. Pumpkin and marrow and cucumber narrow have grown through the spangled June hours. Melons as dark as cates have for their fountains wake, thick as gold honey and wrinkled as dark as pan, oral Silenus, yet youthful as Venus, are goods and the wrinkle figs whence all the jewels ran.
Said Queen Venus, Silenus will settle between us, and nymph disobedience forestall. With my bow and my quiver, each fresh real liver, for I don't understand it at all. the pretty lasses with their mouths like a callus and their hair a golden palace. Through my heart like a lovely wind they blow. Though I am black and not comely, though I am black as the darkest trees, I have swarms of gold that will fly like honeybees. By the rivers of the sun I will feed my words until they skip like those fleeced lambs, the waterfalls and the rivers horned rams. Then for all my darkness I shall be the peacefulness of a lovely tree, a tree wherein the golden birds are singing in the darkest branches. Oh,
across the thick and the pastel snow, two people go. And do you remember when last we wandered this shore?
Ah, no, for it is cold-hearted December.
Dead, the leaves that like asses' ears hung on the trees, when last we wandered and squandered joy here. Now Midas, your husband, will listen for these whispers, these tears for joy's bier. And as they walk, they seem tall pagodas, and all the ropes let down from the cloud ring the hard gold bell buds upon the trees, codas of overtones, ecstasies grown for love's shroud.
That hobnailed goblin, the bob-tailed hob,
Said it's time I began to rob for strawberries, Bob, hobnob with the pearls of cream like the curls of the dairy girls, and flushed with the heat and fruitish ripe are the gowns of the maids who dance to the pipe. Chase a maid, she's afraid.
go gather a bob-cherry kiss from a tree, but don't, I prithee, come bothering me.
She said, as she fled. The snouted satyrs drink clouted cream neath the chestnut trees, as thick as a dream.
So I went and lent, where none but the doltish, coltish wind nuzzled my hand for what it could find as it neighed. I said, don't touch me, sir, don't touch me, I say. You'll tumble my strawberries into the hay.
Those snow mounds of silver that be the spring has sucked his sweetness from, I will bring with fair-aired plants and with apples chill. For the great god Pan's high altar I'll spill not one. So in fun we rolled on the grass and began to run, chasing that gaudy satyr the sun. Over the haycocks away we ran, crying, here be berries as sunburnt as Pan.
But Silenus has seen us. He runs like the rough satyr's son.
Come away. see me dance the polka, said Mr. Wag like a bear, with my top hat and my whiskers that tra-la-la-trap the fair. Where the waves seem chiming haycocks, I dance the polka there. Stand Venus, children in the gay frocks, maroon and marine and stare. To see me fire my pistol, through the distance blue was my coat. Like Wellington Byron, the Marquis of Bristol, Busby great trees float. While the wheezing hurdy-gurdy of the marine wind blows me, to the tune of Annie Rooney sturdy, over the sheafs of the sea, and bright as a seedsman's packet, with zinnias candy tufts chill, is Mrs. Marigold's jacket. She gapes at the indoor still, where at dawn in the box of the sailor, blue as the decks of the sea, Nelson awoke, crowed like the cocks, then back to the dust sank he. And Robinson Crusoe, Rousseau, the bright and foxy beer, but he finds fresh isles and negress smiles, the poxy doxy dear. As they watch me dance the polka, said Mr. Wag like a bear, in my top hat and my whiskers that tra-la-la-la-trap the fair. Tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Cried the navy blue ghost of Mr. Bellacre, the Allegro Negro cocktail shaker. Why did the cock crow? Why am I lost down the endless road to infinity tossed? The tropical leaves are whispering white as water. I race the wind in my flight down the promenade. Edging the far-off sand is the foam of the sirens, metropole and grand. As I raced through the leaves as white as water, my ghost flowed over a nursemaid quarter, and there I saw the long grass weep, where the giddy foul-plumaged houses sleep, and the sweet ringed doves of curded milk watch the infanta's gown of silk in the ghost room tall, where the governante whispers slyly, fading andante. In at the window then looked he, the navy blue ghost of Mr. Bellacre, the Allegro Negro cocktail shaker. And his flattened face like the moon saw she, rhinoceros black, yet flowing like the sea. Marine obscene horizon in hell.
Black as a bison.
See the tall black aga on the sofa in the Albemarle hell. Rope moustache.
Clear as a great bell.
Waves in 1880 bustles count. Late with tambourines of rustling foam. They answer to the names of ancient dames and chains, and they only call horizons their home. Cold Louise Chinese as these black armored trees that dance, the breeze is seeking far horizons wide.
From horizon.
In a wide vermilion pavilion by the seaside, the doors clang open and high.
Where the wind died.
Nothing but the princess cockatrice-ly, dancing a caprice to the wind's tambourine.
Daisy and Lily, lazy and silly, walk by the shore of the one grassy sea, talking once more neath the swan-bosomed tree. Rose castles to rel, those bustles where swells each foam bell of ermine. They roam and determine what fashions have been and what fashions will be, what tartan leaves born, what crinolines worn. By Queen Thetis, pelisses of tarlatine blue, like the thin plaided leaves that the castle crags grew, or velour d'Afrond on the water god's land. Her hair seemed gold leaves on the honey cell sand, when the thickest gold spangles on deep water seen were like twanging guitar or like cold mandolin. And the nymphs of great caves, with hair like gold waves of Venus, wore tarlatine. Louise and Charlottine, Boreas daughters, and the nymphs of deep waters, the nymph Taglioni, Grisi the Ondine, were plaided Victoria and thin Clementine, like the crinolined waterfalls. Wood nymphs wear bonnets, shawls elegant, parasols floating are seen. The Amazons wear balzarine, jonquil, beside the blonde lace of the deep falling rill. Through glades like a nun they run from and shun the enormous and gold-rayed rustling sun. And the nymphs of the fountains descend from the mountains like elegant willows on their deep barouche pillows. In Kashmir, Alvanda, Barège, Isabel, like bells of bright water from clearest wood well, are elegant, favouring bonnets of blonde. The stars in their apiaries, sylphs in their aviaries, seeing them spangle them, and the sylphs fawn from the aviaries fanned. With each long fluid hand, the manteau espagnol mimic the waterfalls over the long and the lights on the land. So Daisy and Lily, lazy and silly, walk by the shore of the wan grassy sea, talking once more neath the swan-bosomed tree. Rose castles Tourelle, those bustles Morel, of the shade in their train follow. Ladies, how vain hollow, gone is the sweet swallow, gone Philomel.
We bear velvet cream, green and babyish, small leaf seam each stream, horses' tails that swish, and the chimes remind us of sweet birds singing, like the jangling bells on rose trees ringing. Man must say farewells to parents now, and to William Tell and Mrs. Cow. Man must say farewells to storks and bets, and to roses, bells, and statuettes. Forests white and black in spring are blue with forget-me-nots, and to lovers true still the sweet bird begs and tries to cozen them by angels' eggs sold by the dozen. Gone are clouds like inns on the garden's brinks, and the mountain gins Ganymede sells drinks, while the days seem grey and his heart of ice grey as chamois. Oh, the Edelweiss and the mountain streams like cowbells sound, tirra-lirra, drowned in the waiter's dreams who has gone beyond the forest waves, while his true and fond ones seek their graves.
fun, boring them worse than a nine-bore gun, till the flaxen leaves where the prunes are ripe, heard the tartan wind a droning for the pipe, and they heard Macpherson say, where will the waves go, what hotels hide their bustles and the gay umbrellas, and would there be room, would there be room, would there be room for me? There is a hotel at Ostend, cold as the wind without an end, haunted by ghostly poor relations of Bostonian conversations like bagpipes rotting through the walls, and there the pair ropes fall like shawls with a noise like marine waterfalls, and another little drink wouldn't do us any harm, pierces through the sabbatical calm, and that is the place for me. So do not take a bath in Jordan Gordon on the holy Sabbath on the peaceful day, or you'll never go to heaven, Gordon Macpherson. And speaking purely as a private person, that is the place, that is the place, that is the place for me.
Silly and shady, longing to be a lazy lady, walk by the cupola's gables in the lake's Georgian stables, in a fairy tale like the heat intense and the mist in the wood when across the fence the children gathering strawberries that change by the heat into negresses, though their fair hair shines there like gold-haired planets Calliope, Io, Pomona, Antiope, Echo, and Clio. Then Lily O'Grady, silly and shady, sauntered along like a lazy lady beside the waves. Haycocks of gown with tucks was a satin the colour of shining green ducks, and her folderol parasol was a great gold sun of the haycock shining, but she was a negress black as a shade, the time on the brightest lady laid. Then a satyr dog-haired as trunks of trees began to flatter, began to tease. And she ran like the nymphs with golden foot that trampled the strawberry's buttercup root in the thick gold dew as bright as the mesh of dead Panope's golden flesh. Made from the music whence were born Memphis' thieves in the first hot morn, and ran to wake in the lake where the water people seemed gay to rake. And Charlottine, Adeline, round rose bubbling Victorine, and the other fish expressed a wish for mastic mantles and gowns with a swish, and bright and slight as the posies of buttercups and of roses, and buds of the wildwood lilies, they chase her as frisky as fillies. The red retriever-haired satyr can whine, tease her and flatter, but Lily O'Grady, silly and shady, in the deep shade is a lazy lady. Now Pomp is dead, home is red, Heliogabalus lost his head, and shade is on the brightest wing, and dust forbids the bird to sing.
Holds a folk, tall as a stalk, before the honey fruits of dawn were ripe, would walk and stalk with a gun the rain-coloured sun. Among the pheasant-feathered corn the unicorn has torn, forlorn the smoke-faced sheep sit and sleep, periwinked as William and Mary weep. Sally, Mary, Matty, what's the matter? Why cry? The huntsman and the rain-coloured sun, and I sigh. Oh, the nursery maid Meg, with a leg like a peg, chased the feather dreams like hens, and when they laid an egg in the sheepskin meadows where the serene King James would steer horse and hounds, then he from the shade of a tree picked it up, spoiled to boil for nursery tea, said the mourners. In the corn-tower strain, said the tall as a crane, and whistling down the feathered rain, no lower goes again an old moan with a head like a poem, seeing the world as a bare egg laid by the feathered air. Meg would beg 3 of these for the nursery teas of Japhet, Shem, and Ham. She gave it underneath the trees where the boiling water hissed like the goose king's feathered daughter kissed. Pot and pan and copper kettle put upon their proper metal, lest the flood begin again through these.
Beelzebub called for his syllabub in the hotel in hell where Proserpine first fell. Blue as the gendarmerie were the waves of the sea,
rocking and shocking the barmaid.
Nobody comes to give him his rum, but the rim of the sky hippopotamus glum enhances the chances to bless with the benison.
Alfred Lord Tennyson crossing the bar laid with cold vegetation from pale deputations of temperance workers.
All signed in memoriam, hoping with glory to trip up the laureate's feet.
Moving in classical meters.
Like balaclava, the lava came down from the roof and the sea